Hey guys, BibleCat here, and welcome back to another video. So this video is going to be a little bit different from what I usually post. This one's going to be about plants. Okay, hear me out. You've seen the title, so you already know the basic gist of things. So I'm going to change this angle thing. Yeah. Okay, so I know this is a really awkward angle, and you can probably hear like a ton of outside noise, but like I need to open my windows for better lighting. Whatever. The whole point of today's video is using real plants for like LPS videos. And yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about, which is why I just said that. I'm going to give myself such a hard time editing this. The first plant I want to talk about is a moss. This butte, oh, you can't see it. This butte you see before your eyes is one of my 2 propagation bins. I forgot to say of what. Moss, obviously. So it looks pretty gross right now. It has like bits of other moss and stuff on it, and there's like dirt on the sides. Yeah, I'm gonna redo it. I made this like well over a year ago, like before quarantine and stuff. This is where I obviously propagate my moss and grow it and stuff. So there's a lot of different like types of moss that I have. Yeah, I like showing off my moss. So moss can be used for so many things, especially in LPS videos, because I mean, they're tiny plants. And when you take tiny plants and put them in a camera that makes tiny things look bigger, like LPS videos, I guess I'm gonna have such a hard time editing this. It makes small things look like they're normal size. Like take LPS props. You'll see I use a ton of props in my videos, and those are all obviously not normal human sized. So what I use moss for is bushes, grass, undergrowth, because obviously I have a lot of nature themes and backgrounds in my videos, because, I mean, who doesn't like nature, I guess? There's a lot of dried mosses and stuff in my LPS invasion series, which, don't worry, that's coming soon, I swear, I'm just improving the rating of the 2nd episode. So this kind of moss is my absolute favorite. It's broom moss. I think this variety is windswept broom moss. You can find it like in forests and stuff, obviously, mostly on just dirt and stuff, and I think sometimes wood. I don't think I've ever seen it grow on rocks or anything, but I only got a little bit because when you're harvesting moss, you shouldn't like take a lot, especially since this one is like so slow growing and you don't want to like destroy the colony. I love to use that for bushes, especially grasses. Like if you're doing a scene of long grass, I'll usually take like normal old like carpet moss that you can find basically anywhere, usually on like sidewalk cracks and stuff. If I want like a short grass, if that makes sense. So along with regular moss, I also take moss that has spore phytes on it, which is basically the moss equivalent to flowers. There's like so much like animal hair on this. I think my dog was around this. If I want like either a pop of color to a natural scene or like make it look like there's more plants, yeah, moss will have these little guys, these like stringy guys. It doesn't always look like this, but you know, it usually looks like that when it's growing, I guess. Yeah, like for example, one that I've wanted to use in a terrarium for so long but have never done anything with yet. This one, there's obviously like there's chunks of dirt in it because, you know, it's a plant. These spore phytes, they're like yellow. They look longer than other spore phytes because it's like they're from a short, really close to the ground moss. I would use that if there was like a scene where I needed a farm or like a garden. Again, I would use that because it looks like wheat, but it also can, again, represent other plants. Here is a regular carpet moss. It has some spore phytes here, yeah. You know, it's closer to the ground and stuff, or closer to whatever it grows on. So I'll use those for grasses, bushes. I'll also sometimes put like those things on trees. This is Spanish moss. It's not technically a moss, like at all. The camera makes it look like really dead and dull, but it's not. You can find it on like trees and stuff. It's usually growing on trees, choking out other plants, which is not good. So yeah, it's pretty invasive on the East Coast of America. It's no good, but this is not from outside. This is just from a terrarium kit. That failed. I would use this for, again, bushes. I would also, like, maybe if I mixed in some other plants, like lichens or, I don't know, just other plants, then I could glue them onto, like, say, like a twig, and it would look like a tree. Then I usually put trees in backgrounds, obviously, not like in the foreground or the middle ground. This is Irish moss, which I think it's also called Scottish moss, and like a couple other things, but you know, whatever. Again, not a true moss. It's not, I don't think this is actually even related to moss, except for being in the same kingdom, which would be plants. Yeah, I would use this for, obviously, backgrounds. If you wanted to give, like, again, a garden, I would also maybe like take a little bit of this, put it in like a miniature pot or something, or like a makeshift prop that looks like a plant pot, I guess, I don't know, to look like a house plant. Another plant that I love to use is lichen. Lichen is amazing. I think it's even more versatile than mosses. I use this for bushes, obviously, because they're like bush shaped and stuff, and that's not focusing. Whatever, I'll put some B-rolls or something. I'm actually, okay, I can't remember if lichen is actually a plant or a fungus, but like, whatever. Okay, liverwort, I don't have any liverwort, but that's also a really good plant you can use. Cause, I mean, no, I think that's the fungus. Oh! Anyway, liverwort, it looks really cool. I think a couple kinds can look like leafy almost, but yeah, just be creative with, you know, the different textures of plants and or fungi. Lichen, it grows pretty much the same as moss, which I'm not sure why you would need to know that, because you're probably just using these for, you know, videos and not to propagate. Anyway, you know, you can get them from like places at like Hobby Lobby or Michael's and stuff. I'm not sure if Michael's has it, but like whatever. You know, craft stores. I actually grow some. This is in like a little moss garden I have. Wow, those colors look so nice. Lichen again. Then there's like a ton of different mosses. Fern moss. Wow, how did I forget that? Fern moss is amazing. Fern moss, it's really cool. This one, I'm not sure what kind of, like I'm not sure the exact species of moss it is, but I know it's a fern moss, obviously. It looks really cool. It looks like tiny ferns, hence the name fern moss, and there's still dog hair on this. Enough with the nerd stuff, because I'm a huge nerd for like lichens and mosses and stuff. Succulents. Succulents are amazing. You can actually make some fake miniature succulents out of like paper and stuff. It was a really nice tutorial that if I can find it, I'll link it down below, but you know, I might not be able to find it. They're pretty easy to grow. Most of them are kind of hard to kill. Yeah, they're really cool. They come in a lot of different varieties. Obviously this one that a lot of people haven't seen. This guy is like, he needs water, but he's like a regular looking succulent. Along with softscape in scenes, you should also make use of your hardscape, which if you're not used to those terms, means like softscape would be like plants and stuff. Hardscape would be non-living, abiotic, that's what it's called, abiotic like features like rocks and sticks and stuff. That's what you have to make use of, because like, sure, you can have a scene with just plants, but it won't look as good without like hardscape. You could use these like pencil things, like they kind of look like tree branches. I'm not sure what they're called, but you know, they're really cool, and I use them a lot in my videos. This is just a plastic tree that I turning into a better looking tree, I guess. Yeah, with like fake plants and then like real plants, you know, whatever. Rocks are like a godsend. An example of a scene that I've used a lot of plants in is this one set from LPS Invasion, like the first episode, you know, the walkway, we all know. I used a ton of moss in it, obviously. I don't see any lichen, actually. I thought I used some lichen, but whatever. I always, every time like I walk past this, I always like touch up and like add something or change something, like add more moss or something or whatever. For grass, I use this like green, you know, like cloth thing, but I mean, obviously it doesn't look like moss by itself. Moss? What? It doesn't look like grass by itself, so obviously the softscape and the hardscape together, you can make it look like actual, you know, ground. I put like, why does that sound so weird in my head? I put dirt on the cloth, then obviously I put moss. Moss makes it like look amazing. Fake plants, real plants, rocks, sticks, you know, what you would see outside. Yeah, like obviously from far away it doesn't look natural at all, but like up close on camera it looks pretty decent actually. I'm kind of proud of this. So that's all I want to cover in this video right now. I'm gonna make a second video because I know I repeated a lot of stuff in this video and it was really messy and rushed and unscripted. But yeah, so the most important things you have to remember is that you don't have to, this is basically free stuff, dude. You can just go outside and thank you, bird. You can basically just go outside and get some moss. I mean, obviously you have to harvest with caution and stuff, but you know, still it's pretty easy. Like the best thing is that you can just find all this stuff like outside, craft stores, plant stores, you know. Yeah, so another thing you should like keep in mind, probably like the most important thing, is it doesn't matter what like hardscape and softscape you have in a scene, just make sure you use a lot of textures in your scenes. Different textures, that will never not sound weird. Different textures of rocks. Don't just use like the same kind of moss. Like I know you can find different types like right outside your house, so just go outside. Just go outside. That's it. That's just how I'm gonna end this. Regular, what am I saying? No. I should have made a script for this. Oh no. I'm getting dirt everywhere. A chunk of dirt on it. Whatever. Ah! Okay. No! I keep getting dirt everywhere! None of this makes sense. I'm going to have the hardest time editing this. Another plant that I like to use is lichen. I sound so dead on the inside, Jesus. Another plant that I just spit everywhere. I'm struggling, dude. I'm struggling.